Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. It is day one of lockdown here in the UK, and I sat down to write some things that I want to do going forward for lockdown number 2, part 2. We've all been here before, we kind of know what to expect, but I just thought there are a few things that I want to do differently going forward, and things that I suppose I learned from lockdown number 1, and I just thought I'm gonna film it. So it's not really me sat here giving you my tips and advice and stuff like that. I think what would be really nice is for you to now grab yourself a notepad and a pen, and as I go through all of my things that I want to do going forward, almost like my lockdown promises, because this isn't so much an advice video because you're going to be doing it yourself. It's more promises that we're going to make to ourselves about lockdown going forward. And I mean, it's day 1, like I said, of lockdown, and I have felt really strange all day. Speaking to my friends and family, people tend to be feeling the same as well. Nothing in particular, there's just a very weird atmosphere, very weird energy. And I know lockdowns are happening at different times around the world, but we're all generally in a very similar place. And also with the election happening in the States, it's there's just a lot going on right now, and I think that's very heavy for us. You know, we're taking on a lot, and I think it's understandable that we are all feeling a little out of sorts, to say the least. I've basically just been indoors all day, and I live on my own as well, so it's yeah, it's very strange. I think this lockdown is going to be very different to my first lockdown. But let's get started with this. So in your notepad, I'm just going to write lockdown number 2. How are we here again, guys? How are we in another lockdown? I mean, it was obviously completely to be expected, and I do feel like it's the right thing to do. It's just not nice, is it? No one wants to be here. First thing I'm going to write is stay connected to other people. Now that obviously doesn't mean physically, but I think it's so important, especially if you are in a similar position to me where you live on your own, or maybe you're in a house and you have flatmates but you're not necessarily close, so you feel like you're isolated to some degree. I mean, everyone is isolated, we are all in our households, right, on our own. But I think it is so important to try to stay connected to your friends and family as much as possible, whether that's phone calls every single day. If you do live on your own, you can bubble with another household. That was the plan before lockdown, this week, to get down there so that I could spend the month with my family, Daisy May and Noodle, our dog. But unfortunately, my family have just been tested positive for COVID. Well, literally like 2 or 3 days ago. Not ideal for them at all. Luckily, touch wood, their symptoms are mild, and they hardly even notice that they have it, so that's really, really great. So I'm really grateful for that. And Daisy May is absolutely fine as well, bless her, so that's all good. But that also means that I obviously can't go down right now, but as it stands, I think I am allowed to, once they're over their quarantine period, go and stay with them. So staying connected to others, I'm going to put a daily phone call with at least one other friend. Although I am pretty good at that, it ends up being a couple. Like, I normally speak to my closest girlfriend, and then I speak to my mum every single day. So I don't feel like that's going to be hard to stick to, but just writing it down now on day 1 of lockdown I think is really important. So daily phone calls. And they don't have to be like an hour phone call. It can literally be like, just how are you doing today? And be honest, you know? Like, if someone says to you, how are you doing today? Be honest, just be like, I feel a bit strange today, and talk about it. It's so important. I mean, do I write the Zoom calls down? Like, I mean, if I am in Sussex, I'm gonna write a Zoom catch up with the girls, but I'm so over Zoom and lockdown hasn't even started, so I don't know, we'll see. I'm sure, like, give it a week of not see, or two of like not seeing anyone, I'm sure I'll be up for Zoom again. The second one that I'm going to write down is to not put pressure on yourself to do things the right way, or do lockdown the right way. I think, reflecting on lockdown number 1, there is no right way to do lockdown. Coming out of lockdown, speaking to friends and family, everyone did things in a very slightly different way, because I think we all found a way to make it work for us, and everyone is so different. So I'm going to put, don't put pressure on yourself to do lockdown right. You don't have to make a sourdough loaf of bread every single day. I didn't make bread once and I survived. So don't put pressure on yourself to do things that you feel other people are doing. Like the whole banana bread thing. I mean, I actually did make a lot of banana bread, but I love banana bread. But I think a lot of people felt pressure to do things that other people were doing. Like, okay, well, everyone is having a Zoom call and getting drunk every Friday and Saturday night. I need to do that to stay sane because, you know, if they're doing it, I need to. No, I think lockdown number 2 is going to be so different. I think because of previous experience, we kind of know what works for us, right? But still, let's write this. Well, you don't have to if you don't feel it resonates with you. But don't put... Why have I spelled put wrong? Don't put pressure on yourself to do lockdown. That's bad English, isn't it? Right. I hope you are doing this with me as well, or do it at another stage, maybe in the next few days. Yours doesn't have to be the same as mine. I think that's the beauty of writing these lists. Yours could look like the complete opposite of mine. You might write, put pressure on yourself to do lockdown right. If that's gonna make you happy, do it. But I think you get the gist of what I'm saying, you know, like, I think everyone behaves differently in these times, and that's absolutely fine. You just do you. Do what makes you happy. Do whatever it is that's going to get you through this lockdown. And I do think it's good that we kind of know what to expect, right? Going forward. The next one is so obvious, but I think it's really, really important, is to get moving every day. Get your body moving, you know? So get your body moving daily. That can be a walk. I think the worst thing that we can do during lockdown is to just have a whole day inside. I know that's what lockdown is. People are going to give me loads of shit for that comment in the comments down below. Just go and scroll. I bet people are saying you can't give advice to people to not stay indoors all day. All I'm saying is I think it is so important to get some fresh air. Go for a walk, even if it's just around the block. Get some fresh air. Houses and flats, apartments can get so stuffy as it is. And especially if you're living in a city, like, you just want to at least just get outside, get some fresh air. If you live in the countryside, that is so ideal. I mean, my family in Sussex are so lucky to be out in the country and have the freshest air, and it's beautiful. So once they're over quarantine, they'll be able to go on really nice long, well, not long country walks, but I don't know what the rules are this time. First time round, I feel like we had very specific timings of, like, don't go outside for more than an hour a day, and don't exercise outside more than once a day. I mean, who's going to do it twice a day though? But, you know, still, we had quite clear rules. This time, I haven't really seen much of that. But I think it's unlimited fitness outside, isn't it? So I think just get your body moving. Go for a walk. Go for a run if you're into running. Even if it's yoga, if you are quarantining completely at home, or you're high risk, get moving inside and open the windows and just get some fresh air in. So yoga is going to be amazing for everyone. And I really, 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 really mean that, whatever age you are. Yoga, even if it's for 20 minutes of stretching on your mat, it is so good for you, for the mind and for the body. Just stretching out your arms, your legs, your chest, your shoulders, just relaxing everything. But mentally, don't underestimate the impact that that can have on your body. Meditating as well. I know meditating is almost like a step further, because from the outside it looks like you're just sat there with your eyes closed, not doing anything. But eventually you can train yourself to actually truly meditate, and it's beautiful when you can get there. I'm not very good at meditating personally, but I'm trying. I'm really trying to just switch off the mind. Right. My next one, I'm going to say, go offline. I know that sounds so hypocritical for me because my job is online and I'm filming this video to go online. But by that I mean disconnect from your phone and your laptop a bit more. I'm not saying go offline completely, but just taking a breath, you know, away from all of that, I think is so good for you anyway, as it is. But in lockdown, I feel like personally I was more attached to my phone than I normally would, and I definitely think I'm addicted to my phone for sure. When you've got messages that are just like constant 24/7, like Instagram comments, DMs, WhatsApps, it's literally, it's draining, it's exhausting, but it's also addictive. So one thing that, yeah, definitely for sure, go offline. I'm going to try and train myself to like wean myself off of social media slightly and just take a step back, and I think that could be so beneficial for everyone. I've got a couple of friends, Venetia and Max, that are so disciplined with this, and I wish I could do it. They go offline for 48 hours every weekend. So Saturday and Sunday, they are completely offline, completely off their phones. Weekends for me is slightly different because my upload days are Sundays, so I could be super organized and schedule everything. But that's definitely something to consider, the offline 48. I can't remember. Yeah, I should know that hashtag. And it doesn't have to be the full 48 hours. I think just being conscious and mindful of not being on your phone or laptop or iPad or Apple Watch, like all of it, just all the time. Just taking a step back. The next one I'm going to write is cook from scratch. Now, lockdown number 1, I was amazing at this. I was cooking all of my meals from scratch. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Even like desserts and snacks were made from scratch. And that's because I was out in the countryside and I felt like I just had all the time in the world. This lockdown I already know is going to be slightly different. Firstly, because I'm in London. Even if I can legally get back to Sussex to bubble with my family there, I'm in London for the first week at least. So I have access to Deliveroo and like all of the local restaurants that are doing takeaways, and there's coffee shops that you can still get takeaway coffees from, and blah blah blah. I think mentally that actually could be quite good, that I know I can, you know, order food in and like not just be stuck completely in my flat on my own. But I know that this time around I do need to make a conscious effort to cook my meals from scratch, because I do have everything on my doorstep and I don't want to get stuck into that trap. And cooking from scratch, obviously, it's mainly for the nutritional benefits, making sure that our immune systems are as strong as they can be, getting all of those fresh fruit and vegetables into your diet, healthy grains. I eat a plant-based whole foods diet. Not all the time, I can be a very unhealthy vegan as well, recently. But I think just incorporating more plant-based foods into your diet. You don't have to be plant-based the whole time. I don't think you need to put a label on your diet. I don't think you have to be pescatarian, vegetarian, vegan, or whatever, or a carnivore. Like, I don't think you need to put a label on the way that you eat. Even though I completely label myself as eating plant-based, I actually don't think it's that healthy sometimes to just like put yourself in a bracket. So yeah, cooking meals from scratch I think is also good to just have something to do. Make it your hobby, get into it, enjoy it, plan your meals. I've already planned my meals for this week and I'm so excited. Tonight I am making a sweet potato and chickpea curry. Tomorrow I'm going to be making, oh, hello, someone's having fun. Tomorrow night I am going to be making jackfruit tacos, pulled jackfruit tacos. Can't wait. And then I'm going to be making a mac and cheese, then I'm going to be making a Tuscan bean soup. So I've got everything planned, and with all of those meals I'll have leftovers for lunch as well the next day, so I don't have to be cooking during the day. So after you've done this list, go on and make a meal plan list. Maybe I should do a video on that, like meals for lockdown. Ooh, getting all the ideas now. Okay, so cook from scratch. Next one, I think the next one is going to be create a routine. And this is something I didn't do in lockdown number 1, and I really wish I had. I think we all had days in lockdown number 1, which is absolutely fine, where we kind of stayed in our pajamas until really late, and then it's like, oh, I really should, you know, get out and go for a walk or exercise or something, and then before you know it, it's like midday and it's like, oh, I haven't really done much and work wasn't as productive, and you just get stuck in a bit of a sluggish routine. But this time round, I think it's really important to create a positive routine, a structured routine for your days, Monday to Friday. So if you are able to work from home, you're probably, hopefully, used to doing this anyway. But for those of us that have quite a flexible job, whether you're freelance or self-employed, it's quite hard to suddenly have a routine because we're not used to routines. And now we're thrown to being back in another lockdown. It's like, oh no, what are we gonna do with our days? So yeah, create a structure, a routine of some kind. So this is again going to be another list that you can do after you've created this lockdown number 2 promises list. But it will look something like wake up at a particular time every day. So for me that will be 7 AM. So wake up at 7 AM. I then like to exercise, so maybe do some yoga or go for a run or even go for a walk. Come back, make some breakfast, have some porridge or some granola and yogurt or something like that, and a nice cup of tea or coffee. And it goes like that, like almost plan it to the absolute T. You will probably not stick to it exactly every single day, but that's okay because at least you have something to follow. They're like your guidelines, right? You don't need to do them perfectly, but as long as you know in your head, okay, right, tomorrow morning I'm gonna go for a run and then I'm going to make some porridge and then I'll start work by 9. And then you can have little things staggered throughout your day, like at 11:30 I'm going to get on my yoga mat and just do like 10 minutes of stretches just to like move the body a little bit, or it could be going for a walk. And then you can have your lunch time, right? So 1 PM I'm going to have my leftovers of dinner the night before, things like that. And I think it's really important to have an evening routine as well. Get in your skincare and beauty routine within this daily routine as well. I know it's something we do second nature anyway, you know, when after you shower, but actually scheduling that time in will make it more of a ritual and something that's a bit more enjoyable. Like, right, okay, I'm going to really take care of my skin during lockdown, and my routine is going to be my eye cream followed by my serum and then my moisturizer and then my oil, and twice a week I'm going to do a mask. Things like that I think are going to really help us. So creating a routine, this is work, this is beauty, this is fitness, food, what else did I mention? I think that's everything. So try to stick to it, but I think it just brings comfort having a structure there to follow. I'm pretty much there, I think, with my list. How many things have we got on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I feel like I've just got one more, which is to every morning write a list of things that need to be done that day. So write a list every morning to keep you motivated. Keep you motivated and productive. I'm such a list person. Can you tell? I love a list, and I think today, for example, I really struggled with work. I was very unproductive. I've been home most of the day. I've had my laptop open all day, and I feel like I've hardly done anything. Like, what have I done? I wrote a few emails. I caught up with the team, but like it was nothing that important. So I've just had a very unproductive day, and that's why I now going forward know what I need to do is wake up and write a list of everything that needs to be done. And this list can be as basic as you want it to be. It can literally be like, reply to Pete, you know, and then at least you know that you need to reply to Pete. My list, I literally write down everything because I love ticking things off. I find it so rewarding to just be like, yep, done. I will even write a list to remind me to write a list. So my list tomorrow morning is probably going to be write a meal plan list, write your routine list, like, and then when you've done that, you can then tick it off, and I just love it. I really love a list. For me, it really, really works. I know that doesn't work for everyone, and like I said, your lockdown promises are going to be very, very different to mine, and that is absolutely okay. I encourage it. I don't think your list should be exactly the same as mine. I'm going to keep adding this to this. I'm going to keep adapting this, making changes, probably crossing some things off if I feel they're not working. Yeah, this isn't a set list. You can absolutely adapt this as lockdown goes on. And yeah, I really hope that yours does look different to mine. That's everything for now. I think what would be really, really lovely to help everyone watching this video, leave your #1 tip for lockdown #2 that you learned from the first lockdown. And I know people around the world have had lockdowns at very different times. Like I know France, for example, have been in lockdown before us. So I'm sure as you're ahead of us, you have many more tips and advice than I do. So I just think if you are watching this and think, oh yeah, this is one thing that I really learned from the first lockdown that I'm going to continue to do in the second lockdown, or something that you didn't do that you know you will do, please write it in the comments down below, because I think everyone will really benefit from that. And it's also a way to stay connected to others, right? And that's on my lockdown promises. So a way to just feel like we are all united in this. We are going through such an unbelievable time. When you actually think about what we're going through this year, you just can't make it up. It's crazy, right? But we're all in this together, no matter where you are in the world. You might be sitting in Peru right now watching this video, and I'm in London, but we are all going through something very similar. And we will get through this. We will all come out of this stronger. So I think, yeah, just staying connected to each other can really, really help. So please leave any tips and advice that you have in the comments. And I hope you found this helpful. I hope you started your lockdown promises, or you plan to write your lockdown promises. Let me know how it goes, and sending you so much love, health and happiness wherever you are. Thank you for watching.